Welcome to Daddy's Money Garage. Nick, give me the camera back. Because John is taking this one over because, well, you know, it's his car, that only seems fair. And Nick and I did work on it, but Nick probably did more than me. At least this time I didn't leave to go get a haircut. You'll notice that the Cadillac looks a little less janky, and by little I mean it looks a lot less janky.
Less technicity.
But John, you're going to take it over as the front man here and explain exactly what all has been done to this car over the past couple months.
Oh God, I don't even... Where did I start?
I think we started with trying to pull the drive shaft out.
No. So what we started with was the front end, because the front bumper was already partially off and we went to take it off and then never finished the job.
Oh, I remember that, because we just kind of left and didn't do it again.
So we finished taking that off and putting the new one on, which is worse than it was, which sucks, but
it was
whatever.
Way more than 4 bolts.
How long ago was it? About a year ago? I got a bumper for this thing and a grill.
I don't know, we uploaded that video where we tried to take the bumper off and then never finished it.
It was like a year ago.
It was September.
Because we had problems with the bolts, remember? And you got smacked in the head and got upset.
Yeah. It took me 6 months to get the actual parts here because this bumper is very heavy when it's not 30% rust.
It's just weight reduction, bro.
It's weight. It's the opposite of that, actually. It's heaviness increasing. Anyway,
weird.
So I've got the bumper over there. The guy sold me a bumper and a grill for my 62 Cadillac, and he provided me a bumper for my 62 Cadillac and the grill for a 63, 64 Cadillac, which means it's completely worthless to me. So I've got to sell that.
So if any guys need that, hit up John over here.
Yeah, some of it's in the back of my truck, some of it's in the garage at the house. We got this thing off. I've got the bumper over there. We're gonna get the other one, take this smashed up grill insofar as I can and try to mate it to the other bumper, and then get a fuel system done. I'm also gonna put my old good headlights on the high beams because I got the better headlights for right here.
Ooh, there you go.
And I also got these, which Austin found me.
Ooh, look at that.
Yes, so I can actually have my 62 Cadillac headlight
Chromey homies, look at that.
The way it's supposed to look. Finally, again. I lost the other one on the way back from a French restaurant that apparently sells roadkill. You didn't hear about that.
Le bon appetit.
Oh good, that sounds good.
Yeah, the Coco Vin was roadkill.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
That is the new bumper that we just carried over here. Look how the difference is. 100% different. It's going to look so good going on there and fixing all of that.
Garrett's been being the G and moving all my bumper stuff over to the bumper that's not.
And everything's rusted and broken.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay. Well, yeah, that happens. Shut the fuck up. You're fucking. Shut the fuck up.
I genuinely like slow dancing in the dark.
Nobody really wants you here.
This is kind of one of those things where the grill got screwed up with the bumper, as you can see, because the bumper's got this hump kind of mirror thing happening.
So it's not gonna matter.
So I don't really think it's gonna matter too much. If I have to hit it with a hammer, I'll hit it with a hammer. I do not care.
You know, you're not supposed to treat your cars like I treat my cars.
We should also pull the headlights up here and swap out the good ones that I've got. Because I got my good headlights that I had for the outside, but I replaced those with much better headlights. So I'm gonna put the good ones in the inside to replace the crappy ones that are there that are round, because you can tell this one still has the original style seal beam on it, and this is a flat face, and I want it to match just so it's easier to
Because this
ignore.
car's going to Pebble Beach next year.
No, it just won't stick out like that. I don't think this car could make it to a beach.
You could. I mean, whales make it to them all the time.
I was about to make the same joke.
But it's beautiful.
It is beautiful. It's really good.
There was a problem, though.
There was a problem. I bought the front bumper and a grill off of the guy because he said, I've got the correct stuff for your car. It's in this place. It's over on the other side of it came from the desert. Every story that you hear from old car parts guy is, I got to hit my shipping container in Nevada.
It's always from Nevada.
It's thankfully, but as soon as it came here, you know, Tennessee did its thing. He sold me a grill that is for a 64.
On the 62 grill,
There's a
it
gap
ends
right
here, but on the later ones, it extends under the headlight.
Well, it's not so much that way. It's also that there's a gap between the headlight shroud and the start of the grill. It's not continuous like this. It's like it starts here.
Yeah.
So there's this flat piece, and it comes out further, but it doesn't work because it's all 1 or 2 year only stuff. So I gotta sell that if anybody wants it. But Austin found me a headlight shroud.
Yeah, because that just randomly fell off out of nowhere one day.
Yep, found me a pair of those, so I'm matchy-matchy again. I got all my headlights and stuff upgraded because I've had some, upgraded those, put the upgraded ones here. They all match, looks good.
You do good headlight work.
Yeah, he does. He's doing all mine. After we figured out the bumper situation, the gas tank.
So it never had one.
But it does now.
But it does.
Welcome back to Daddy's Money Garage. You got Austin over there.
Wait, hold
John
on.
over here.
Wait, hold up. Come back to me. Don't I usually start these things?
Yeah, but you're in your
Aren't you
workbench.
overstepping your boundaries here, Garrett?
Me? Anyways. Whoop.
Welcome
Cool.
to Daddy's Money Garage. Continue.
Continue. John, what are we doing today?
I'm about to whip Austin with a gas tank
Oh,
strap.
please.
What's about to happen?
Do it, bitch boy.
Basically, what's happening is I'm just trying to get to everything I can get to right now. I've got a gas tank situation going in to replace the fuel cell that's in there that's probably going to Troy, technician Troy, for his Sonoma. We'll see.
And this gas tank's actually pretty hard to get a hold of from what I
It
understand.
was when I ordered it, because when that one got lost by FedEx, or no, when my fuel cell got lost by FedEx, I got the return alert that those were in stock.
Yeah.
So then it kind of worked out, but still didn't work out.
No, it just made me mad because I ordered a fuel cell instead of the gas tank I needed for the car because I wanted to be able to drive the car. And then the day that the fuel cell got lost by FedEx, they sent it, overshot Nashville by 300 miles. The sucker was out by Atlanta somewhere, fell off a truck, came back home. Anyway, by the time it showed up, that was in stock and I could have just had it overnighted or whatever.
That's just the glorious logistics of car parts.
It really is, and that's not the first time that I've heard something like that. FedEx lost a set of wheels
I had
from
two
one of my
things.
friends.
I had 2 things on that order and they lost one of them. The other one arrived on time.
So do you think they lost it or someone needed it more than you did?
No, they lost it and it came back. One of them, the tracking didn't, it kept going once it got to Nashville. The other one stopped and they pulled it off the truck. I gotta figure out how these go together so I can get this thing up underneath the car.
There are holes in them?
No, hold on. See.
Oh, those were just to isolate
Yeah,
the
you
straps.
put that between the strap and the...
So this will be a 2-person job because one person has to hold it and try to finagle the straps on it as the other person bolt it. And this is also the fuel cell that John has been running that we talked about. All right, so which way are these straps going?
I have no idea yet. All I know is that the filler neck goes this way.
Now, are those bolt hole, like 4 bolt holes?
I have no idea. They're not threaded, they're just there. So I don't know if I'm gonna have to like drill that. There's no information on this stuff. And there's nothing factory that was ever there for me to take a look at. So I don't know what it's supposed to look like unless I look at my service manual that's over there. I should look at my service manual that's over there.
No, you don't need a book. That's how I'm approaching this carburetor.
And yet you wonder why things break.
No, we got a pretty good track record. We only break stuff on purpose usually.
Yeah, but do we have to recap what happened in Sykeston?
No, that was on purpose. It's just we didn't know what we were doing. I'm just going through this book, see if there's anything that can lead me in the direction that I need to go. I don't think there is, so. Because they probably figure that you should be able to look at the car and figure it out, but
Question.
parts of this car are missing.
Question.
What?
Google?
That's a good idea. Where's my phone? Haven't really put a lot of thought into this, just kind of been doing, because it's been a lot of time spent planning stuff, and then like, we never get around to doing it.
Well, now that
Daddy's Money Garage.
So, we got stuff to do.
we got stuff to do,
Guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go out of town for 3 weeks.
I managed to get finished on not having a fuel cell in the trunk finally. Now I have a filler neck and a nice shiny pretty gas tank. It's all brand new and it's pretty much run the same way it is. I still got my fuel pump, electric one, run off of the ignition. That's brought all the way back here, but I put it on the outside of the car so when I open the door, hopefully it won't smell completely like gas. That's cool. I have no idea if this system is gonna leak or hold up, but it's better than it was. So we'll just take all the rotten old gas out of these gas cans that I drained it into and send it but later. So there's a lot of crap in here. When we got the car, it was running on a gas can, and the gas can had a plastic bag on it, and the plastic bag kept getting sucked up in the fuel hose because we didn't have anything to get it out of the can, and so we broke down 9 times to go 4 miles.
I had to get out and go unplug it.
It was hilarious. I went to the places that would have gas tanks for this. Like the classic parts and OPGIs and whatever, and they're like, yeah, they were coming through that place that had the boat stuck or whatever, so they'll show up some point, but we're out of stock.
Yeah.
So what I did was I ordered that fuel cell, put the fuel cell in. You'll probably saw that on that first video about this car.
It's now at Technician Troy's.
Yes, that is the one that's going to go in the Sonoma eventually. Oh yeah. But yeah, so moving on, FedEx lost that fuel cell, and the day that it finally showed up, I got the notification alert that the actual gas tanks were in stock. So what I did was I went and I bought an actual gas tank.
Yeah. It's, I don't know if I can see it. It's pretty low down there. Oh, you can see it. Yeah. That nice shiny stuff. It's actually got a gas tank. And you can fill it up properly because that is connected now. That is a world of
It's so much nicer not to have to pop the trunk to fill it up and also get in the car. And I have never had a wasp problem because it was always full of gasoline fumes. An entire new gas tank because I didn't have one in the first place. Getting straps because they weren't there. Getting hooks because they weren't there, the J-bolts. Getting a sending unit because there was one, but it was in pieces and that wasn't going to work. So threw a bunch of new stuff in it, hooked it all up, made sure that it was right. It wasn't right, went back underneath it, dropped it, hooked it all up again correctly, and now I have a working gas gauge. And a thermostat. My temp gauge works now too. We did that on the engine. I was actually going to say, so after the gas tank was put in, I helped you out with the engine. Yes, you pulled the carburetor off. Well, I did more than that, dipshit. This is a 750 Edelbrock that was given to me by Uncle Tony, and we put it on John's Cadillac because it needed a better carburetor. It needed a carburetor that worked. Yeah, because it had a 2-barrel on it that had 2 bolts holding it in, and it just didn't work all that great. But I had this laying around, so we put it on there, but it doesn't have electric choke. So I've got this electric choke kit that I'm going to install. I bought that electric choke kit like a year ago, and we're just getting around to it, and it's summer. But that's what I'm pretty much doing to this thing. There's a lot of parts in this thing, man.
Oh, it is.
There's like more than 3, and I start getting anxious, man. I don't know if I can do that.
What, you have anxiety all of a sudden?
Well, I mean, what is all this? Like, what's this spring?
We literally built a drag car, and this is giving you anxiety?
What does this go to?
Does it look like I remember? I've been in Japanese land here lately.
Like, I don't know, man. Like, we don't work on cars. We don't do anything. This YouTube channel is just...
Correction, I work on cars.
Okay, well, then you should know what that spring is for.
How many carburetor cars do I work on? There's been 4 or 5.
All I'm saying is, this is a lost cause.
Should that be the name of the car? Lost cause?
No.
No?
High hopes. Oh, I gotta figure out this this horrible mess going on here.
You better start getting to figuring. I should just set the camera up just to monitor you while you do this, because that's very intricate.
This thing is tiny.
You should be used to tiny things.
This is the right size.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't want to cooperate. It's so small. I have to get this whole piece out.
There you go.
See, there it goes.
It's turning.
Now it is.
Now you're cooking with peanut oil or whatever people are saying.
You have castor oil?
No.
Wait, that makes you shit. This is gonna take a minute. Hey, if you need
help, I've got the diagram for the factory carburetor that isn't there.
Oh, that's so helpful right now?
Yeah, anyway.
It's so helpful. Thank you,
It might
John.
actually be.
It actually might be helpful.
It might be a very similar...
I'm pretty sure I can take apart a choke.
Yeah, I know. Look what's... Carter AFB.
Yeah, so, okay, so yeah, it is the
exact
actually
same.
use the same...
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is this? Why does this even...
Did it not come with instructions? Or
no, it did. I'm just not reading them.
Got
you
it.
know, we built that whole car without instructions.
I just got an offer for somebody for a discount on a wiper motor that I need.
There you go. Things are looking up.
Yeah, I've only been looking for one of those for a year, and they're like...
Since you got the car?
Since I got the car, actually, yeah. It's been missing the whole time.
Hey, I got the bolt out.
Oh, man.
I got it. Nailed it. It's
Putin
good.
is on stuff.
I got it. That's loose now. You know what? It's been a hard day at work. I think I'm gonna clock out. I think I'm done.
Here, clock out.
There's video evidence of me helping. like this. Look, see, I'm gonna help push the hood up. But we made it a little bit easier to deal with because we took this carburetor completely off and I installed an electric choke for it.
Yes.
Which, you know, around this time of year in Tennessee, you really don't need.
Nope, it didn't turn on.
But the thing is that when it gets cold, it will help because this thing did have trouble starting.
It would. I ran it out when it was like 35 degrees one night.
Yeah.
And it took a lot to get her going, but she went.
She
like,
eventually, yeah.
It's got a heart of gold. That's very arthritic, but it's gold because it runs good. It doesn't smoke. It doesn't really have any issues. It's just weak.
We've actually learned a couple things about this engine.
Thought it was a 350. Was told it was a 350. It is a small block, but
it's not a 350.
It's a 78 or 79 305.
It's terrible.
But 305s don't have to be terrible.
And it's got a 750.
I have a high torque camshaft that actually had ground to build torque and a small cubic inch small block that I will happily donate if you ever want to put it in.
I might have an experiment with that. I'm trying to find something for it. I don't know what I want.
You'd be amazed. Not even just horsepower, but if you picked up 30 or 40 foot-pounds of torque below 2,500 RPM, it'd make this a whole different machine.
What's up with the frags?
Oh, that's just convenience sake.
Oh, for what?
Anything I need. They also, the hood sits on them and it makes it squeak less because these are about gone. I need to replace them.
Oh, also like you have updated the battery strap situation.
It's secure enough for right now. I need to find a good box that I actually like so I can put it in the trunk.
Fair enough, because you know that mounting position is just not usable. Don't
it's
don't
not
ask
any
questions.
RA at all.
This is when they built real cars out of it.
Don't do that. You might knock a hole in it. Is this just loose things now?
Oh, that's just a bumper bolt. Must have come loose.
It's loose because it doesn't need it.
There's at least 4 of them, so
Race
I'd
car stuff.
say it's
Yeah,
all right.
It's losing weight going down the street.
I think it's still there. It's just not tight.
That's fuel economy on the go.
See your Tesla do that.
The last thing, the thing that Nick really helped out on. You got to explain the drive shaft situation.
The drive shaft situation was it was making lumpy, thumpy noises, and you knew that's a driveline vibration, right? Because it got worse when you went faster.
It was hitting the floor, like it was just bouncing.
That's cool. This vehicle has a 2-piece drive shaft. It's, you got the yoke, you got the thing, you got the first piece, and then you got a carrier bearing assembly. It's like a big truck that way.
Yeah.
And the carrier bearing assembly was no longer assembled. So what it was basically a giant dingus ring that was loosely holding the drive shaft in place as it did this.
Yeah.
In the middle.
You could hear it going down the road until you get about 70.
Adds character.
It was the night before I needed this thing to be at a photo shoot across town, and I pulled the drive shaft out, took it out, figured out what was wrong. I quickly ordered a carrier bearing, knowing that was going to be blown from when I started the project. Looked up in there, I've got 2-day shipping on a carrier bearing assembly from some company in England. Cool. So I got that shipped. It showed up the day that this needed to be on the ground. I took the drive shaft, I took it over to his shop. We cut the old carrier bearing off of it because it wouldn't come off.
Safely.
Is that like safely?
Safely.
So obviously this sucker did go to a drive shaft shop at some point because apparently Mikey was here. He didn't think to replace that while he was in here. That's some nice safety squints you got there.
Do what?
Some nice safety squints you got there.
Fuck that shit. I'm squinting.
Our buddy here, Nick, the van man, gave him a call, ran to the shop. So we're gonna split this bitch and make it work.
Clearance.
Nice. Much gooder.
There we go.
And she's apart. Yeah, look how that's stock.
This has been here since the Nixon administration. It's probably part of Watergate.
It's the bearing's not completely screwed.
No, actually the bearing feels good. It's just the rubber around it went
Everything
bad.
just went bad, yeah.
See, American-made bearings really never went bad.
Yeah.
Not till we went to Chinese and Mexican bearings.
That's why I like buying all my bearings from Germany.
Now, which way does this go on?
Let's figure that out.
I got a feeling once we get this on, it ain't gonna want to come off.
So what we're looking at is we're looking at the front of the prop shaft towards the front yoke.
So this is facing the front.
Yes.
I mean, it's going on. I just don't want to be rough on it. You know what? Let me find a piece of pipe that'll actually
fit there and just see if you can.
Just because these are so hard to get, I really don't want to.
Especially since I need it tomorrow. You bet, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it shorter though.
This old shop really is dope, and I wish I had it.
Then I'm going to use the true end and expand it. So this end's got just a little bit of a curve to it. I want to make sure it's totally flat.
Just a little sledge on it.
Yeah, but I wanted to make sure that end was totally flat and true. Yep.
Cool.
We got a tool.
Genius.
There it is. It's on.
Now all I got to do is
Now I just got to put it back together.
put it back together, lube it up, and then stuff it back in there.
This is actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to be here for an hour fighting it. This car just wants to be fixed.
It really wants to be on the road.
Wants to be fixed.
There's a lot of it that's returning to the earth right now because the rust is really atrocious in a few spots. But
Well, vintage Cadillacs are just cool.
yeah,
I wish more people would do vintage Cadillacs.
I found a Facebook group. It's just called Ruined Cadillacs, and it's all people do. There's a guy up in Michigan right now who has one like mine for sale. It's
Yeah.
a Series 6.2. It's a 1961.
Yeah.
Mexican blanket interior, and it has a 5-speed Tremec 3650 out of a Mustang, and that 3650 is sitting behind a 6.8 Ford V10 with twin turbos on it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is a ruined Cadillac like a stinking Lincoln?
maybe with more like finesse. I'd say the best Facebook group I found recently is just Crown Vics with threatening auras.
With threatening auras.
Yeah.
What's this?
That is technically the lock washer that holds that nut on.
So this goes here?
What that does is it was just hammered. See this flat part?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just hammered flat with the nut to keep it.
I think this
From
is
moving.
actually a cup to keep the grit out of it.
Yeah. Well, all I know is how it was.
Cadillacs are not like Chevrolets. They're on a different engineering level. The stuff they thought about back then just blows my mind.
Well, it's amazing that the giant nut that holds the assembly together is captive with a lock washer on the outside.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, it's wild.
It's like
Yeah.
an 1 3/4 nut or larger that has a captive lock washer assembly that you push down and hammer in on both sides, and it keeps it from being able to move.
And don't forget,
and it floats.
it has a torque spec.
It also has a torque spec. The nut in the middle has
You
a
know,
torque
I'm
spec.
sure somewhere there's a manual with a guy with his sleeves rolled up and a cigarette, and he's got this
Yeah.
special tool that they probably had in Cadillac in
It had a
1963.
part number for a special tool you
Yeah.
could apparently order from Cadillac in 1962, but that doesn't exist anymore.
But either way, the thing's done. It's back on the road.
It's
Yes.
very photogenic.
It's
Yeah,
very
it
photogenic.
does
Very
make some
photogenic.
very, very good photos.
Yeah, this car has Nashville written all over it.
It was the cheapest Cadillac in Nashville.
It was.
And
Also, I
so
talked
far, it's been extremely reliable.
I talked to a guy, I drove it to the local watering hole, and I talked to a dude who's lived and worked in the area since the mid-1980s. And he took a computering class with a girl whose family bought one of these brand new in 1962 and lived in Madison. And this basically spent its entire life since 1962 in Madison.
Probably same car.
So this might be the same car. He wasn't fully convinced because they also had a black Lincoln when those came out. But
A stinking Lincoln.
him and one other person have told me they're pretty sure they know this car's lived in Nashville its whole life.
Well, it had Nashville plates on it. Is that plate still there?
It's in the trunk.
No, it's in the trunk. So the way that old Tennessee plates used to work was that it was segmented into West, Middle, and Eastern Tennessee, assigned by number. West Tennessee began with 1, Middle with 2, and East with 3. That one begins with 2, so that's definitely a Middle Tennessee plate. And considering that it was on this car,
On the front.
we're very convinced that that is the original plate to the car.
Who knows?
This car's just cool though. I love this car. The thing I like
I
about
love
it
this
is
thing,
like
too.
helping you work on it. Like even when we did the Driveshaft, I worked on a lot of old American stuff. Cadillacs, I have learned, are their own thing. I kind of thought, oh, it's probably just like a Buick or an Oldsmobile or a Pontiac. Nothing like it.
Well, the cicadas are getting really loud and it's starting to get dark, and this GoPro is about to die, so let's wrap it up. What's next, John? You getting an engine for
I
it?
would
or-
like a stereo. Oh yeah,
You've got the speaker box for the race car. You can't hear it in.
well, I just wear my AirPods now, and that's a lot easier.
Oh, well then can I get that back? No, actually, I'm trying to find a good engine swap for it. I have no concept of what I want. It's really just going to be whatever I find out that I like. I've
got
looked
a
at everything
4.3.
from.
Oh God,
Cummins 4BT.
that's been done.
Oh yeah.
There's a guy with a 6BT 12
What
valve in one
about
of
a
these.
Detroit 4V whatever
the two-stroke
Yeah, the
diesel.
two-stroke four-cylinder Detroit?
That would sound amazing.
That would be wild.
That'd be pretty cool.
Would like to finish rebuilding the entire suspension because 90% of it is still stock. We replaced the shocks, made sure that stuff worked, but there's stuff that should be there that's mostly not there anymore because of the passage of time. So it'd be nice to trust the underneath of the car mostly. That'd be good.
And if you do
I
stay
found
small
some
block
stereo
Chevy,
stuff, so.
I vote for a 400. A 400 small block would be great if you're going to stay with the Chevrolet. Just
But-
cubic inches.
That's the thought process I'm on. It's either
Cubic
going to be small and boosted, which is pipe dreaming for later, or as much cubes as I can stuff in it, which would be
Torque.
like a 76 500 if I can score one for really, really cheap.
That'd be cool.
I guess we're gonna wrap this up. Go sub to Nick the Van Man 90, and then immediately unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Unsubscribe from us, right, John?
It's not like anybody's subscribing right now anyway.
Well, damn.
It's like the same 4 people that just keep doing it over and over every month. It's it get hard to look at. I couldn't
most
see it
people that
anymore.
watch don't subscribe.
Yeah, they don't.
So if you're watching, subscribe.
they just
We
wanna see us
need
fail.
your money.
I need to get to 1,000.
You're almost there.
Anyway,
You were worried about hitting 500 and
do all that stuff, and we'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.